The most famous classical French triolet of all time is one which can be plausibly dated to the period of internal military upheavals encountered by France during the middle of the 17th century, known as La Fronde. Nevertheless, unlike most triolets, being a love poem written by an obscure French legal expert known as Jacques de Ranchin, it has nothing to do with the social unrest that people in general were facing. Since 1693, it has been known among literary historians of Western Europe as the King of Triolets. I will now read my English translation, which is fully faithful to the rhythmic expectations and other rules of the classical French triolet, and of which this triolet is the most famous example. The day that came the first in May, no happy day that day has bettered. The plans I made were good that day, the day that came the first in May. My eyes with love about you lay, when Sylvie, you, my heart unfettered. The day that came the first in May, no happy day that day has bettered. However, as the classical French triolet was first conceived of as being songs, so even though I am now 71 years old and have one foot in the grave, I would now like to sing an impromptu sung version of what you have just heard read to you. The day that came the first in May, no happy day that day has bettered. The plans I made were good that day, the day that came the first in May. My eyes with love about you lay, when Sylvie, you, my heart unfettered. The day that came the first in May, no happy day that day has bettered. In the coming days, I plan to produce a video in which I talk about Jacques de Ranchin, something which was not easy to piece together when I decided to include a section about him in my PhD dissertation, but which deserves to be heard. Lastly, if anyone finds themselves interested in the triolet genre of poetry, please contact me. In the future, I would like to introduce triolets, both classical and modern, that are written by others, and not just by me or by people who are now dead, yet once possessed varying amounts of fame. Thank you for your attention.